What is going on, Multiversers? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to Monday. Woo, everybody's favorite day of the week. Can't wait to go back to work. Yay. But hey, at least tomorrow's Tuesday. Morty's dropping tomorrow, so unless they delayed him. They didn't delay him, did they? I don't think they did. I haven't heard nothing. Hopefully they don't. But Morty's coming tomorrow, so that should be very exciting. But yes, in today's video, we got a little bit of good news, as well as a little bit of bad news for one potential leaked character for Multiversus. So we're going to start with the good news, and then we'll get to the bad news later. So in case anybody wants to avoid spoilers at all, you know, you don't have to continue watching after a certain part. So let's start with the good news here. So good news. Tony tweeted this out a few days ago, and he tells us that they'll be looking at buffs to Taz and Garnet in the next round. Any thoughts? And then everybody on Twitter is able to kind of weigh in. I weighed in myself, kind of giving an idea of what I'd like to see adjusted for a few things. So there's many cool suggestions. And one of the things that somebody brought up about Taz here real quick, if you have any of your own ideas how they could buff or buff Taz or Garnet, put them in the comments, or better yet, go tweet it at Tony. So this person here, Nightwinger, on Twitter, I kind of agree with a lot of this. They say that their opinion of the Cloud nerf, his up special, Taz's up special, could straight up get reverted. I'd be all for that. Maybe make the, I don't remember all of it, but you know, maybe make it so it has close to what it did for knockback in terms of a pretty decent KO move before. But they make a good point here, saying the Cloud attack, it has so much counterplay. You can literally jump over it, run, or just you know, run away from it, or use any projectile, and it kind of stops the move in its track. So it's a little slow. If you don't catch the opponent with it right away, they can easily counter you, no problem. So up in its you know, knockback or power would be pretty fun, or a pretty good change for that attack at least. And then maybe a little bit of priority. So I kind of like what this person's been saying about Taz. I would like to see something with his forward air, with that big chomp. Hopefully that can leave like a stack of weakened on the opponent, or something like that would be pretty fun. Maybe the tornado could reflect projectiles, something. You know, there's lots of ways to buff characters. And I just want to say one thing real quick. I'm so happy that Tony Player First Games are always looking at all the characters. Maybe it comes in cycles, but they're looking at every character and going, who needs to be buffed? Who needs to be nerfed? All right, who's not getting played a lot? How can we change something up? I love that sort of mindset, so that's pretty cool. But he does also tell us here a little bit about what to expect for Garnet here, where he says that Garnet, they made her recovery faster for her ground and air side special. The gauntlet is a bit faster and goes a bit further. Her side air 1 combos into side air 2 more reliably. I did hear a few people on Twitter saying that they were doing side air 1 into side air 2, and the opponent was just kind of like falling out of the combo, and that's never a great feeling, right? You go to do this combo and all of a sudden they just kind of like fall out, and you're like, what? I was doing so well, and all of a sudden something weird goes on. So it looks like they're making her a little bit more reliable for some of these attacks, which is always good. But he does say that this will be in a patch after Morty. So once Morty drops, this isn't going to be a part of the new balance changes, if there are any. This will be after Morty. But at least we got a little sneak peek for Taz and Garnet here. So now we are going to be discussing the spoilers. So if you want to avoid the spoilers, you know, here's your chance to click off the video, go watch something else. But yes, so the spoilers, we're going to enter the spoiler room brawl in 3, 2, 1. You've been warned. So we're going to be talking about Gandalf in the Lord of the Rings. So let's try to get through this quickly here. So Lord of the Rings, Gandalf specifically, goes back to one of the very earliest leaks from Multiverses. We've seen Gandalf on a stage. We've seen Gandalf as a part of the character select screen, along with Rick Sanchez. Well, Rick Sanchez has been confirmed for Multiverses. I'm very excited about that. But we haven't heard a peep about Lord of the Rings stuff or Gandalf. What's going on with that? Well, an article came out over the weekend, or late last week, that said Embracer goes on a spending spree, and then they ended up buying the Lord of the Rings IP rights, Tripwire Interactive, and more. So basically that means WB no longer has the IP rights to Lord of the Rings stuff. So if Lord of the Rings Gandalf If they're going to come to Multiverses, I'm assuming this now means they need to negotiate to bring that stuff into the game. Yeah, that could be a pretty big hang-up, if you will. So we do have I'll leave the link to this article if you want to go read it down below. But here's one interesting little snippet, which basically kind of reaffirms everything. Where right here it says, right in the middle, it means Embracer Group will own the company which owns the rights to adapt those books into films, video games, Multiverses, stage plays, placemats, Funko Pops, that sort of thing. So Embracer Group is the one that's deciding the fate for all these new properties. So yeah, if you are looking forward, or were looking forward to Gandalf in the game at all, maybe temper expectations. It could still happen. It could still happen at some point. I'm not saying it won't, but I'm not saying it will. It all depends on how friendly this Embracer Group is with sharing their IPs. There was a rumor that Lord of the Rings stuff is coming to Fortnite. If that's the case, I believe that would be an existing contract, which means when the contract, when the Lord of the Rings was agreed to be coming to Fortnite, that was WB and Fortnite agreeing to terms. So there's already a contract in place, which means when Embracer then obtains the IPs to Lord of the Rings and all that stuff, they already have the existing contract, and they could just simply say, all right, yep, we'll honor it because it's already ongoing, and we'll just kind of move forward from there, which is why that might not get held up because of an existing contract. But since Multiversus no longer owns it, it might be a little bit trickier. Again, it all depends on Embracer here and how willing they are to share. We'll end up seeing in the future, but as of right now, I don't think I'd hold my breath for any sort of Lord of the Rings content in Multiverses, unless they just really surprise us out of the blue for some reason. But that is all that I got for this one. I hope you guys enjoyed, well, as much as you could. But that is it, and I guess I'll see you when I'm looking at you.